Everything you've been told about paying off your mortgage is slowing you down. People are paying off 30-year loans in just 7 years using a method almost no one teaches. And it doesn't require more income, side hustles, or extreme budgeting. In this video, I'm breaking down the exact steps I used, including the one strategy banks hope you never learn. Let's dive in. So let's go ahead and share with you what exactly is going on here. We've got the example of $200,000 at 6%. We've got the $1,200, and that $1,200 is not going towards the principal, but it is getting split up. This is how it will get split up. $1,000 going towards the interest and $200 going towards the principal, because after all, we are talking about mortgages. We do have the national average here, $5,000 of income coming in, $3,000 of expenses going out, $2,000 in cash flow. Okay, we're gonna go set this up so that you know exactly what we are working with. Notice the line of credit and the limit on it. Okay, should be very encouraging. $15,000 limit, $12,000 balance on it. And of course, the banks are saying $600 a month. You've got to give us that in minimum monthly payments. Now, I want you to pay attention to this number right here, because that's going to be very important. Now, when you're making $5,000, right, each and every month, and the expenses are $3,000, that's $2,000 in cash flow. However, that was before this individual found out about velocity banking. Remember, before they were segregating their income, meaning $700 is going to the checking account. You got to keep some in there. Of course, you got to keep some in the savings account. That's another $700. Then they got the credit card of $600, the mortgage of $1,200, the car, $600 monthly payment. That's actually on the inexpensive side. And then $1,200 was their lifestyle, which gave them a cash flow of zero, because if you add all these numbers up, it equals zero. That was before they found out about velocity banking. That was before they found out how to use their line of credit correctly. So this is what you're going to have to do, okay? You're going to have to go ahead and set up. Now, you don't have to, but this is one of the best methods to get rid of this mortgage in 7 years. Absolutely. So set up that line of credit, or that personal line of credit. You can even get a business, a HELOC, actually. Did you know that? Absolutely. Let us know if you need help with that. But all of these lines of credit, they are not necessarily weapons against you. They're actually weapons for you, okay? So that's what we need you to do. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to use our line of credit in an unconventional manner, in a manner that is going to work for us instead of against us. You got to know what you're dealing with. So if you are using your line of credit as your new checking account, meaning the income goes inside of the line of credit and the expenses, they come out of the line of credit, what happens to your cash flow? Or excuse me, what happens to your minimum monthly payment? It goes away. Wow, what a great move you did. Let's go ahead and cross that out. $600 each and every month is now in your control. So let's go ahead and put a 6 right before that 0 and add another 0. So now our cash flow is $600. Now, when I say know your fuel, that means know what you are working with as far as your cash flow is concerned, because that's how we're going to eliminate this mortgage in 7 years. You got to watch this. So now what we want to do is we want to assess, okay, we've got the $600, all right, this checking and this savings account, is it really, right? Is it really helping you out? And that's something that you have to assess. In this particular case, the couple said, you know what, we got to get out of the mentality of accumulating, and we got to get into the mentality of cash flow, okay? So they went ahead and crossed out the 700 and the 700. They're not doing that traditional banking anymore, that horse and buggy banking. They want to get velocity banking. So now they have the $1,400 that they're working with, and they say, well, what can we do with $2,000 in cash flow? Now, stop right there. They did not get a job. They did not cut their expenses, right? What they did was think differently about how they allocated their money, all right? It's going to be very, very key here. So now that we have the $2,000, right, we are now redirecting the flow, the cash flow, into the line of credit so that that $2,000 is actually paying off the line of credit. Because remember, we still have to pay down that $12,000. But if you have a balance of $12,000, okay, with the cash flow of 2K, remember that 2K is getting parked there, approximately how long are you going to be in that line of credit? Can we say 6 months? Since 12 divided by 2 is 6? Absolutely. You're going to be in that line of credit for 6 months. But at the end of 6 months, you're done. Okay? At the end of 6 months, you're actually done with this line of credit. That means the balance now becomes 0. Now go ahead and comment below if you feel comfortable doing this method of paying off a mortgage. Do you see the numbers that we're working with here, the line of credit? So now we have a balance of $0 on the line of credit, but we have a $15,000 limit. And oh, by the way, we still got that $1,200 each and every month to pay off that debt of $200,000. What are we going to do with this line of credit? Remember what regular people do. Normal people, they go ahead and accept that they have to segregate their income. Okay, we actually wrote a book, The Power of Velocity Banking. If you need the details to that, right down here, it goes over a lot of scenarios so that we're getting people out of debt very fast. And they accept that they have to segregate their income instead of putting all of this into the line of credit. Isn't that something? How the answer sometimes can be right before your face. So let's go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead and take the same amount that we had before, $12,000, and let's put that towards the principal of this mortgage. Now remember the $12,000, we spent that on shoes, spent that on purses, we spent that on consumables, but now we have a focus of our line of credit to capture this $1,200 each and every month. Watch this, okay? $12,000 is going to be deployed from this limit of 15 to the 200,000. Now you can do the math, right? 200,000 minus the 12,000 is $188,000. All right, carry the one. Is that right? Yeah, $188,000. Now, why is that so significant? Because we just shared with you what happens when you accept the bank's plan, right? You're going to be paying $1,000 in interest, $200 towards the principal. Remember, it has to equal that $1,200 a month. But watch what happens when you hammer away or chunk the principal down to $188,000 on the balance. So that 6% is actually chewing and feeding off of $188,000 versus the $200K. Watch what that looks like. So if you were to continue on with the bank's plan for your life, this is the second month. Now I want you to compare the second month, okay? $999 on the bank's plan towards interest, $201 towards the principal. That means in 1 month, that's about 30 days, you had a transfer from the interest side to the principal side of $1. Do you see how they think of you? All right. Now, if you're doing the velocity banking method, right, and deploying the proper income, the proper line of credit, $12,000 in this scenario, the second month is actually going to look like this: a decrease of $60 from the interest side to the principal side. Now, what makes this so amazing is that this unsecured line of credit, you know, what the bank gave you, you didn't have to earn it. Oh man. Not like at your job, right? Your reputation, right? And the lenders looked at it, looked at your credit score. They say, hey, let's go ahead and give you this. And from that, you got to borrow other people's money. Now you can use it to make you money. Does that make sense? And so now this borrowed capital, right? This unsecured line of credit, and of course it works with secured as well, right? Is using the $12,000 to hammer down the interest, okay? $940 goes to interest on the second month here, $260 towards the principal. We are chunking at that principal, and that's exactly what we want. Now, as you continue to do this, right? After 6 months, it's another $12,000, all right? And then after you have replenished it, because remember what's replenishing, and now the $2,000 is what's replenishing it. Another 6 months, and you hit it again and again and again. CJ, how long am I going to have to do this? Well, I lied to you. I told you that you were going to be done with this in 7 years. It's not going to be 7 years. Can you guess the number? It's going to be 6 years and 1 month. And you would have saved over $196,000 in total interest. The bank wants you to pay over $200,000 in interest. Okay, that $200,000 here is just principal, but they want you to pay over the 30 years, right? Another $200,000, and I'm being nice. But not if you know how to move your money correctly. Okay? Remember to use these lines of credit to your advantage, folks. Okay? Now, look, if you are still wanting to have some sort of help, guys, we came out with a wizard. Not only do we have a book, we actually have a wizard now. That's right. Teamed up with ChatGPT, we went ahead and created for you a debt transfer wizard to show you how you can pay off debt very quickly. We have it in the description link below. And if you are having trouble with the example that we just provided, right, with the debt elimination, please check out this video right here, and we will see you in another video.